Hi everybody, this is Eugene O'Loughlin, lecturer in computing at the National College of Ireland, and welcome to my series of problem solving techniques videos. In video number 18 we're going to take a look at the circle of opportunity. So first off, what is the circle of opportunity? Well, I suppose first it's a very easy to understand and implement tool. No special equipment and so on is required. And it helps us generate ideas. Very, very good idea generating tool. And it does this by what we call free association. So we get random combinations of problem attributes or problem characteristics, associate them together and see what we can throw up with them. So what does the circle of opportunity actually do? Well, first, it helps us to discover new meanings, new relationships or word associations, and by brainstorming or concentrating our study on these, use them to produce new thoughts on problem solving or improving products or services. Secondly, it allows us to freely associate attributes for the purpose of generating original ideas for problem solving or process improvement. And thirdly, it helps us to selectively study randomly linked word combinations in search of new ideas and new solutions. So if we can do that with it, it's quite a useful tool. So let's see how we go and create a circle of opportunity. As I mentioned, no special equipment is required. A flip chart and marker is ideal, or you can use an ordinary piece of paper and your favourite pencil if you want. And the first thing you do is you draw a large circle, and inside the circle number the points like on a clock 1 to 12. Now the number here doesn't really matter. 12 is normally the practice of what people use, but you can do 10, you can do 8, you can do 14, 15, whatever you choose. But let's go with 12 for the moment. And then on the outside of the circle, where I have the question marks here, we will add in the characteristics or attributes of the particular problem that we are trying to investigate. Then once we've done that, the simplest thing to do is get a pair of dice and roll them to generate random combinations. So roll one dice to come up with one number, and then roll the two dice together to come up with a second number. So for example, once we roll the dice, we could associate number 1 with number 6. So we would investigate and brainstorm and study the association between whatever the attribute number 1 is or the attribute number 6 is. Roll the dice again and we can compare and combine attribute number 4 with attribute number 9. Or roll it again and combine attribute number 3 with attribute number 11. The important thing here is that the associations are being generated randomly by using a pair of dice. And we look at the ensuing associations to see, can we generate some new ideas? So there are some questions that we need to ask once we are doing this. So the first question is, what associations can I make? So we're using the dice to generate these randomly for us. Secondly, what do these associations remind you of? Is there a problem that was solved in the past? Is there an idea that somebody else came up with based on these associations? Jog your memory and see if something can come from those cells of memory in the back of your mind of problems that you have solved before. Thirdly, what analogies can you make from the associations? Is there something else that you can compare them to? Our fourth question is, what are the relationships between the associations and the problem? Sometimes you will have very tenuous or very loose associations between two characteristics, and sometimes very strong relationships, but what are those relationships, and what are the relationships with the overall problem being resolved? And finally, and probably the most important question you're going to ask here is, are there any new insights based on what you are doing? So you're randomly combining two attributes or two sets of words and looking for new insights from them. So to explain this a little bit further, let's take a look at an example. Now, the example I'm going to use here is about frequent machine downtime, and it is based on the Six Sigma Tool Navigator, the Master Guide for Teams book, written by Walter Michalski and published in 2003. So this example is taken from that book. So we have our circle drawn here, our numbers 1 to 12 drawn on the inside, and I have put the problem statement here in the center of the circle. You can put this anywhere you want, but center of the circle, the space is available, and it's a good place to put it. So my problem statement is that we're having a problem with some machines and we are experiencing frequent machine downtime. And we want to investigate some ideas as to, can we overcome this, or how can we improve this situation? So the next thing to do is put the attributes are the characteristics of the problem around the outside. So we've got 12, so our job here is to identify in our team, identify all the problem related characteristics that you can think of related to this particular problem here. And then record them on the outside of the circle as you see here. And once you've done that, then get your dice out and roll them and try and come up with some random combinations to give us associations of characteristics that we may not normally have combined. So in the example here, we roll the dice and we come up with number 1 and number 6. So we associate responsibility, which is at number 1, and operator at number 6. So we're combining those two associations. We brainstorm ideas, we try and answer the questions I looked at on an earlier slide, come up with different ideas, and in the example in the book, the best idea that was arrived at here was that machine servicing should be included in the responsibility of the person who is managing the machine. A second roll of the dice came up with a combination of item number 4, which is repair, with item number 9, which is maintenance. Once again, ideas were brainstormed, analogies looked for, new insights were sought. And the best idea that came from all of that was that it might be best to train the operators themselves to be able to maintain or repair the machine. And there are lots of other associations and lots of other combinations that a roll of the dice will show up here. And in the end, you might do something like rewrite the machine operator's job description to include the servicing and maintenance of the equipment. And hopefully then this will prevent excessive work delays due to machine downtime, and you've gone a considerable length towards resolving the problem and improving the process here. So if you found this problem-solving technique useful, there are many problem-solving techniques and strategies covered in my new book, which is an introduction to business systems analysis. It's published by the Liffey Press and is available online at Amazon and other online stores. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for your attention.